Hello, welcome to Mission Alive from the MSC Mission Office. I'd like to reflect a little bit on this Sunday's reading from St. Matthew's Gospel, Jesus coming to the apostles across the sea and calming the storm. He comes across the sea. He is calm, he comes easily. There's no drama on his side. The drama is on the side of the disciples. Frightened, I think he's a ghost, till he speaks to them, calms them, and calms the storm, with that little story of Peter in between. Matthew's Gospel at this stage is written in about somewhere after the year 70, between 70 and 80, which is 40 odd years at least after the time of Jesus. So enough for two generations of these stories and the tradition of the Gospels being handed down in the communities, in the believing communities, by word of mouth. Now, whether this story really happened like that or not, we don't really know. But again, as with a lot of the biblical writings, the point that is being made and the lesson that is being made goes a bit further. At that time, the Romans had invaded Jerusalem, destroyed it. The leadership was gone, the king was gone, the priesthood was gone, the Sadducees were gone, the temple was gone, the temple and the sacrifice was gone. So the Pharisees had stepped up into the position of leadership, and because of the persecution at the time, any group that was different, any group that was going in a different direction, which might upset the Romans, were put in their place. So the church in Jerusalem was under persecution, or if not, discrimination and oppression. And certainly the faithful community, the Christians in Rome, were being persecuted. So the message is to these people in these troubled times, like a storm on the sea, Jesus comes and calms the storm. He comes calmly, without drama. He brings peace. He allays fears and troubles. And he does this normally, naturally. So the lesson is to the Jews, to the Christians at the time, the Christian communities, in the troubled times, is Jesus is with us. Jesus comes to us. He comes in the storm. And he comes into our lives to allay the fears. Now, in the middle of that, Peter decides that he has within him what it takes to go to Jesus, to respond to Jesus across the water. And he says, "Call me and I'll come." And Jesus says, "All right, come. And Peter begins to go. Then he looks around him, loses his focus, and begins to sink. And this, I think, is the point of it. While he focused on Jesus, he could do it. When he got distracted, when he looked around and saw the storm, he lost his focus and he sank. So when Jesus comes to us in the storm, we must focus on Jesus and keep focused on Jesus. And of course, in this, if we focus on Jesus, if we follow Jesus, and he said, "Love one another," then we don't turn away from others. We focus on Jesus, and that leads us to love others, to help others, in troubled times. And certainly at the moment, in our society at the moment, we have troubled times. And as I've said before, in other countries and other places where we fund projects, these people have all their own troubles and all their own difficulties, plus this pandemic. And so the message to all of us in troubled times like this, Jesus comes to us, walking across the troubled waters, and calms the storm. Let's focus on Jesus. Let's focus on the mission. Let's focus on what we need to do for each other. Thank you.